This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Wendy Griffith. Planned Parenthood leaves a federal program that funds health services for women. This after a new Trump administration rule which says clinics that refer or perform abortions cannot receive the funds. As CBN's Heather Sells reports, pro-lifers are praising the new rule and say it reveals the truth about Planned Parenthood.
Is rejecting $60 million in Title X funds so that it can continue to refer women for abortions. Pro-life advocates are calling it a win.
They don't really care if they receive Title X money because their primary focus is not women's health care. Their primary focus is abortion.
It shows that their narrative claiming that they mainly provide healthcare-related services is just simply false.
Planned Parenthood pulled out because of a new Trump administration rule that bars taxpayer dollars to groups that counsel or refer women for abortion. Pro-lifers say it's a promise kept by the Trump administration.
Especially going into the 2020 election, Christians can be very encouraged that President Trump is keeping his promises to defund Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood is the country's largest abortion provider, and its interim CEO predicted Monday that the loss of Title X funds would cause many low-income women who depend on Planned Parenthood services to delay or go without care. But pro-life advocates note that Planned Parenthood will still receive a big chunk of federal funding via Medicaid. Last year, it was $500 million. Researchers say those Medicaid dollars encourage low-income women to get abortions.
Essentially, when the price of abortion goes down, the incidence increases. And if low-income women can get abortions subsidized through Medicaid programs, they're more likely to get abortions.
Pro-lifers also believe that the loss of $60 million in Title X funding will have minimal impact. Heritage's Melanie Israel says Planned Parenthood reported close to $250 million in excess revenue last year and can afford to lose the funds. Many pro-life activists believe Planned Parenthood's decision to forego Title X funding shows its true colors by putting abortion over family planning. The organization recently ousted its CEO, Dr. Leanna Wen, who promoted comprehensive health care for women over straight-up abortion advocacy. The Trump administration is also moving to cut abortion funding overseas. CBN's David Brody exclusively reported Monday that the White House plans to drop family planning money in West Africa. The administration says it has discovered that some West African countries are evading the Mexico City policy. It requires non-government organizations to agree to not actively promote abortion. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Thanks, Heather. Well, according to Planned Parenthood, this loss of funding could affect more than 1 million people who receive services such as birth control and STD testing. Charlene Aaron joins us now with a look at the other places that women can go to receive services that Planned Parenthood claims will no longer be available. And Charlene, first of all, Planned Parenthood is still going to get a big chunk of federal funds. Is that right?
Exactly. Despite leaving the federally funded program, Title X, they are still going to receive money from Medicaid, the low-income program for women who
How much?
$500 million. I mean, so they're still getting a huge chunk, as Heather pointed out in her story.
Right.
A lot of money they're still going to get.
Well, a lot of patients are getting Title X services from places other than Planned Parenthood, isn't that right?
And this is something that you're not really hearing in the mainstream media. According to Live Action, 87%, that's a lot, 87% of Title X family planning services providers are not Planned Parenthood facilities. That is huge. Also, 59% of patients getting Title X services are not getting them from Planned Parenthood. 68%, Wendy, 68% of contraceptive patients use other publicly funded providers instead of Planned Parenthood.
67%.
That is a lot of people.
Wow.
So these are facts that you're not really hearing in the mainstream media.
Well, talk about the faith-based clinics. They provide quite a lot of services to women everywhere.
Absolutely. We've done tons of stories on faith-based clinics across the country. One impact of the new rule is that the participation of faith-based clinics now in this program, Title X, and many of them are across the country. One group is called Obria Medical Clinics, which run a network of clinics in California.
Right.
They promote abstinence-based education and offer STD testing, breast and cervical cancers, as well as pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, prenatal care. So there are other options for health care for women out there.
All right, well, perhaps a step in the right direction.
Kudos to the Trump administration.
Amen. Thank you, Charlene. Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar says Congress should cut aid to Israel. This after she and her colleague, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, were barred from entering Israel due to their promotion of boycotts against the Jewish state. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said last week that the itinerary of the two congresswomen reveals that the sole purpose of their visit is to harm Israel and increase incitement against it. Omar is now urging her fellow legislators to visit Israel in their place.
We have a responsibility to conduct oversight over our government's foreign policy and what happens with the millions of dollars we send in aid. So I would encourage my colleagues to visit. Meet with the people we were going to meet with. See the things we were going to see.
The two congresswomen also blasted American leaders for supporting Israel's decision. President Trump says the economy is strong, but he thinks it could be stronger, and he's criticizing Fed Chairman Jerome Powell.
Tremendously well. Our consumers are rich. I gave a tremendous tax cut, and they're loaded up with money. I think I could be helped out by the Fed, but the Fed doesn't like helping me too much.
In a Monday tweet, he called on the Fed to lower interest rates by a full point. A survey by the National Association for Business Economics shows 75% of economists believe there will be a recession by 2021. We'll have more on what's happening in Washington on Faith Nation this evening. You can watch it right here on the CBN News Channel. Vice President Mike Pence is warning China it needs to resolve its issues in Hong Kong or a trade deal will be harder. Speaking in Detroit today, Pence says the U.S. does not want Chinese markets to suffer, but in order to strike a deal, it needs to be on U.S. terms.
President Trump believes China wants to make a deal. But as the president has made clear, it's got to be a deal on our terms, because China has had it so good for so long. That things have to change. As the president has said, the days of stealing American jobs, American companies, and America's ideas are over. And so they are. The time has come for China to come to the table, open their markets, and live by the rules of international commerce, like every other industrialized nation does.
Earlier this month, Trump announced plans to extend tariffs across nearly all Chinese imports, which have since been delayed. And as protests continue in Hong Kong, social media giants in the U.S. have removed accounts in an effort to curb malicious political activity. Twitter and Facebook say Monday they believe accounts on their platforms were a part of a Chinese government influence campaign targeting the protest movement. Twitter has suspended more than 200,000 accounts and banned ads from state-backed media companies. And Facebook has removed 7 pages, 3 groups, and 5 accounts, including some portraying protesters as cockroaches and terrorists. The social media giants say the profiles violated the platform's terms of service.
I think Facebook and Twitter did the right thing. It's not only because where these attacks, where these users or fans page are coming from. It also because we know, even like President Donald Trump says that there are lots of fake news. So I think the act of doing this by Twitter and Facebook is trying to restore the orders on the social media so that there will be lesser fake news, so that will affect lesser people in a certain sense.
Fake news is everywhere. Well, the Chinese government says it was not aware of the allegations. Coming up, an Ohio teen is given a second chance at life, what she's looking forward to, and how she remains strong in her faith. And before we go to the break, here's a look at what's trending on CBNNews.com.
Give me that. Bye. Sure, life is busy, but I found a way to make a huge difference in people's lives. I guess you could say I'm changing the world right here from home. I bring medical supplies and doctors to people in need, and dig wells so that villagers can have clean and safe water to drink. I make it possible to preach the gospel in over 100 countries, including right here in America. And when disaster strikes, I'm there, providing food, thank you, and emergency supplies to give people hope again. Every day, CBN and I are making the world a better place. Here you go. My life is hectic, so I joined CBN through Pledge Express. My bank does all the work, and I know that my gift is being used where it's needed most. So become a CBN partner and join Pledge Express, because you can do a world of good right from where you are. Hi, good morning. Are you ready to get started?
Hey, if you're tired and exhausted all day, you can't think clearly, and you really just need a cup or even a pot of coffee to get through your day, then join me, Dr. Josh Axe, for this new series where I'm going to teach you how to transform your diet and use essential oils and supplements to get a better night's sleep.
Get Protect Your Sleep and live your best life with innovative information from 5 leading sleep experts.
If you're not a great sleeper, you can do things to make yourself a great sleeper. If you're already a pretty good sleeper, you can enhance your sleep and be even better.
Discover a sleep-enhancing bedtime routine, how to put insomnia to rest, learn how to relieve pain that disturbs sleep, and much more in Protect Your Sleep.
Everything you do better with a good night's sleep.
Wake up to your best life. Call 1-800-700-7000 to get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Don't miss out on this brand new series.
It's back to school season, and college freshmen are out finding out what it's like to live on their own. That can be a little scary, especially for one freshman with a transplanted heart. 18-year-old Lauren Gibson was given a new heart just before her first birthday. That event and her life since has been a series of miracles. For instance, doctors couldn't believe she became well enough to go home to wait for her new heart. Her mom explained, my God is bigger. Well, Lauren joins us live now from Cedarville University, a Christian college in southwestern Ohio. Lauren, it's great to see you. Congratulations on your freshman year. You look beautiful. How is it so far?
Thank you. It's amazing here.
Okay, well, I'm sure you're just excited to be there. We want to talk to you about your transplant. As you had that when you were just a baby. You have to take medications for the rest of your life. These drugs, I'm told, leave you with a compromised immune system. How do you handle being around other students who will probably be sick?
Well, I just try to stay a safe distance away from anybody that seems sick, and when I get home, I just take my herbal immune supplements to help me keep my immune system up some to get rid of whatever may be.
Yeah, sort of like that's what
around in the air, and
yeah, like I'm sorry, there is a bit of a satellite delay. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so we all have to do that, especially during the winter. Well, your parents put their trust in God when you nearly died from congestive heart failure at just 6 weeks old. Talk about how God has carried you through your heart transplant and the health challenges of your childhood.
Well, God has always been there with me and my family. When I was in the hospital, my mom put me on prayer list worldwide, and even in the Middle East, she said that my prayer request reached. And everybody is just constantly praying for me. I'm constantly praying to God to help me through daily life and to help guide me to my future.
Well, Lauren?
And I just always ask for Yes.
Oh, sorry about the delay. We understand you plan to become a pharmacist. How did your heart transplant affect your career choice?
Well, I wanted to be a veterinarian in my early, middle, elementary years, but then I began thinking that I wanted to help people like me that have to take medication every day, twice a day for the rest of my life, and if I don't, then it affects my health tremendously. It's life or death medication. So I just wanted to be in a field that can ease the complications of taking medication every day for my patients, and particularly pediatric patients, because I understand how hard it is to take the medications, and being a pediatric patient, it's a little harder because you don't really understand why it's such a big deal. And also pediatric patients have to most likely take liquid medication. So I would always dread my medication time when I was little because the immunosuppressant drugs tasted so awful and I never ever wanted to take them. But I just wanted to be someone to be there for other people like me and help people get better.
Lauren, what made you choose Cedarville University, where you are right now?
Well, my mom had a meeting here once, and she immediately fell in love with it, I think. So she took me to a campus tour my sophomore year, and so I just was indulged in it, and I fell in love with it also because I am going into a very scientific field, and with that comes a lot of indoctrination. And I didn't want that because that's not what my mission was to do as a pharmacist. I wanted to follow in God's footsteps with my degree. So I decided to come here because that's exactly what they're doing here.
Wonderful. Well, Lauren Gibson, we pray for your health, safety, and success at college. Thanks so much for being with us today, and have fun. Still ahead. A little dirt never hurt you. It's something most parents have believed for generations, and how it might help with some skin conditions like nothing else.
We will move the American embassy to the eternal capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem.
As the nations rage, you can stand with Israel.
History is being written, and I want to be a part of it.
Call 1-800-700-7000 and get to life.
This is our nature as a country.
Discover the untold story of how Israeli volunteers are changing the world.
We consider it our duty to reach out and help others around the world.
For a gift of $10 or more, you can own the acclaimed CBN documentary To Life.
To treat a human, no matter what he is, which religious he have, which color he is, this is what I'm doing.
Support Israel in their time of need. Get to Life, now available on DVD. Call 1-800-700-7000 or log on to cbn.com.
And I wish that other people throughout the world could see this side of Israel.
Orphans Promise is committed to loving and serving at-risk children, to helping keep families together, and to creating opportunities for strong and sustainable communities around the world. We're working in over 60 countries around the world, and with your help, we can do even more. There's an old African proverb I love that says, if you want to run fast, run alone. But if you want to run far, run together. At Orphans Promise, we want to run far so we can touch the lives of as many orphaned and vulnerable children as possible. But we don't want to go alone. We're out to change the world, one child, one family, one community at a time. Will you join us?
Well, chances are you or someone you love suffers from a skin problem like acne or rosacea. Believe it or not, a lack of good bacteria could be the reason. Lori Johnson explains why you not only need healthy bacteria in your gut, but for your skin as well.
Danielle Fleming can finally feel comfortable about going out and enjoying life. For years, embarrassing skin problems caused her to avoid people.
Because I was having issues with acne all around my mouth area, kind of patches of dry spots and red bumps, and it was terrible.
She's not alone. Skin conditions like acne, eczema, and premature aging are on the increase, and you'll likely be surprised at the reason. Recently, scientists discovered our obsession with cleanliness can do more harm than good. Too often, things like antibacterial soaps and harsh scrubbing tools can wipe out the good bacteria on our skin.
You gotta get a little dirty to have beautiful, glowing skin.
Celebrity dermatologist Whitney Bowe says groundbreaking research over the last couple of years uncovered our skin microbiome.
A lot of people don't realize that our skin is covered in trillions of microscopic organisms. So right after you get out of the shower in the morning, when you think you are clean, your body is covered. Again, trillions, and they are just swarming through your eyelashes and diving into your belly button.
In her book, Dirty Looks, Dr. Bowe explains how these tiny warriors fight chronic skin conditions.
We have to learn to love these good bugs. If we learn how to nurture and protect these healthy strains of bacteria on our skin, that's really the secret to having beautiful, glowing, radiant skin.
She says over-cleansing can destroy good bacteria.
Before I felt the need to take a shower in the morning, take a shower at night, scrub my skin, have a loofah, use the antibacterial soap, suds up really well. I would even rub alcohol on it because I thought it would dry it up and it would get rid of it.
Measures like these trigger an immune response, which can lead to inflammation.
I'm not telling people to stop showering. I'm certainly not recommending going to sleep with your makeup on, but I do think that there's something to be said for taking a very gentle approach when it comes to cleansing our skin.
While step one is preserving the good bacteria already on our skin, Dr. Bowe says step two involves adding to that number with topical probiotics.
Right now, you're spraying live bacteria, and actually this brand has found a way to find these live bacteria that no longer exist on our skin. So through evolution, through our very hygienic practices over the years, we've killed off these good bugs.
In addition to putting probiotics directly on the skin, Dr. Bowe recommends some pre- and postbiotic items to fortify the skin's microbiome.
There's just a huge surge right now. All of these new products are hitting the market, and this trend is not going anywhere. It's just going to climb exponentially.
That's not all. While growing good bacteria on the outside, Dr. Bowe reminds us to also nurture the inside.
An unhappy gut leads to unhappy skin.
She says a diet high in sugar destroys the good bacteria in our gut, which magnified Danielle's problem.
I was addicted to cupcakes and cookies and chocolate. And anything that was in the house that I was feeding, my kids as a treat, I was also eating myself.
However, avoiding those foods and consuming good bacteria can clear things up within days.
So I stopped eating as much processed sugar, white breads, and I started adding different things to my diet. So I started taking probiotics. I started drinking the kombucha that was recommended. I started eating sauerkraut, weirdly enough, because that seems to do a lot also for your skin.
So while skin problems are on the rise, they can be reversed by improving the bacteria balance on our skin and in our gut. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
And you can catch the latest in health and medical news with Lori tonight on Healthy Living at 9:30 Eastern, right here on the CBN News Channel. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after the break.
Wouldn't it be great if you could just hop on a plane and fly to a third world country and hand out food and medicine to the needy? And wouldn't it be great if some of those people came to know Jesus as their Savior because of your help? And wouldn't it be great if you could help out people like this all around the world every day? Wouldn't that make you feel great? And what if you could do all of this without having to leave your home or write monthly checks? Well, you can. Partner with CBN and you can help spread the gospel all around the world and make it a better place. And when you sign up for Pledge Express, your contribution will be deducted from your bank account every month automatically. It's a safe and simple way to make a difference. Plus, wouldn't it be great to get life-changing teachings every month from Pat and Gordon? When you sign up for Pledge Express, you'll save time and money, and you won't just sit around and watch the world go by. You'll help change it for the glory of God. Now, wouldn't that be great?
When you care, souls are set free. When you give, lives are made new. When you share, eternal life begins. When we all come together to love, miracles happen.
Check out the CBN News Daily Rundown podcast each weekday with me, Caitlin Burke. Click on the show tab at cbnnews.com where you can listen and subscribe.
And finally, author, preacher, and actor Priscilla Schreier says we should not be surprised by hearing that some prominent Christians are falling from the faith. During an interview with FaithWire on Friday, she warned believers, quote, "The days will come when even our leaders will fall away, and I think we're seeing the inklings of those times even now." Schreier is starring in the upcoming movie Overcomer and made the comments after news of Joshua Harris, author of I Kissed Dating Goodbye, denounced his faith, and Hillsong worship leader Marty Sampson says he is genuinely losing his faith. Thank goodness for Christians like Priscilla who are standing up for the faith. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Newswatch. You can find more on the issues you care about most at cbnnews.com. You can also watch CBN News programs anytime on our CBN News channel. We'd love to know what you think about the stories you've seen today. Just email us at newswatch@cbn.com or reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We hope you'll join us next time. Until then, from all of us here, goodbye and God bless you.